Welcome to the new lecture of the Linux administration. We will discuss a process. Okay, so process in an instance of a program. In simple terms, you can say any command that you give to your Linux terminal or machine that starts a new process, or you can say a process refers to a program in execution. So it is a running instance of a program. It is made up of the program instruction, data read from files, and other inputs from the system user. Okay, so it is a part of a program or any instance in the execution. Okay, so type of processes. There are two types of processes: this foreground processes and background processes. So first we will discuss foreground processes. It also referred to as an interactive processes, because on the foreground processes, when you write any command on your terminal, then it starts a process and terminal will be busy until this process is not completed. Okay, so in other words, has to be user connected to the system. So we can say it is an interactive processes, because user can give the inputs and process that, then process and give the output. And background processes are the non-interactive and automatic processes, those processes which are running automatically and without interaction of the users or client. They are known as background processes, like the system processes. Like next, process status. So it is a native Unix Linux utility for viewing information concerning a selection of running processes. We can view the different running processes on the terminal, or on the different terminals through the servers you can view. So it is one of the important utilities for the system administration, specifically under process monitoring. So by the PS command or process status, we can monitor the processes, how many processes are running, how many memories are they are consuming, how many virtual memory he is using, how many shared memories are using. So we can monitor the process from the process status command. So has a numerous options for manipulating its output. However, you will find a small number of them practically useful for daily usages. As we have already studies about the process status or process states in the this operating system. So whenever you will start any activity on your Ubuntu desktop, and it will start a new activity or a new process. So this is, you can view, we have started this Linux in this Office Writer. So it started a new process by the process ID 5606 on Ubuntu, and this is the priority value, this is the nice value, and these are the different field descriptions are there. We will understand the different field descriptions in the next slides. Okay, so next is daemons. What is daemons? So these are special types of background processes that start at a system startup and keep running forever as a service. They don't die. So those processes which are automatically start in the background process, and those processes are never die. So those processes are known as daemons. So they are started as a system task, run as services spontaneously. However, they can be controlled by a user by the init process. So init process is the default parent process, you can say parent process of all the processes. So from the starting, from the boot record, it in first process that is start, that is known as init process, and the process ID of this init process is 1. This is the diagram of the process states. So you can view that there are 5 states of the process. This is first is created, and second one is ready, third one is running, fourth one is waiting, and fifth one is terminated. So whenever all the processes come in the queue, they are admitted to the ready queue. Here ready queue will be prepared, and from here, according to the CP scheduling, by the job scheduler, they will dispatch to the this for the execution in the running state. Okay, whenever if the process execution is complete, then it will go exit and terminate it. If according to the CP scheduling, different CP schedulings are there. So according to the CP scheduling, if interrupt occur, then it will go again in the ready queue, or otherwise if they require any input output or event occur, so they will go to the waiting state. Again, this if the IO event is completion, IO is request is completed, then again it will go to the ready queue, and from there, according to the scheduling algorithm by the job scheduler, it will send to the execution state. So this process will be continue until all the processes will be executed. So creation of a process in Linux. So a new process is normally created when an existing process makes an exact copy of itself in memory. That means how we can create a new process, and parent can create a child process with the same environment. If parent create a same you want to create a child process, that means same environment will be provided to the child environment, and the process ID is number is different. Okay, so there are two conventional ways used for creating a new process in Linux, using the system function and using the fork and exec function. So system function is relatively simple, however it is inefficient and has significantly certain security risk in the system function. And generally we create the process by the fork and exec function. So this is a technique, little advanced but offers greater flexibility with together with security. Okay. So by these two functions we can create the processes. So how does Linux identify processes? So for identification, the process ID and parent process ID are there. So because Linux is a multi-user system, meaning different users can be running various programs on the system, each running instance of program must be identified uniquely by the kernel. So kernel can recognize by the parent process ID and parent process ID of their processes. So parent process and child process are there. So init processes. So you know this init process is the mother, or you can say parent of all processes on the system. So it is the first program that is executed when the Linux system boots up. It manages all the processes on the system. It is started by the kernel itself. So in principle, it does not have a parent process. So the init process always has a process ID 1. Always the process ID of init is 1. So it functions as an adaptive parent for all orphaned processes. We will discuss about the orphaned processes when some without execution of child processes, if parent processes is terminated, then those child processes are known as orphan processes. So orphan processes will be adopted by this init process. Okay, next is this init process. You can view PID of system D. This is system process. This is init process. So process ID of system D is 1. You can view the PID of top. This is one of the top command of the Linux, by which you can view the different running processes on the system. So this is 2160 PID of top command PID, that is 2160, and PID of top, process ID of HTTPD. We can view the process ID of our different commands by using this PID of command. Okay, so these are different process IDs of this HTTP command. One is parent process and other is child processes of HTTPD. This to find the process ID and parent process of ID of the current cell. So if you want to know the current cell process ID and parent process ID, you can view by the this particular command echo. This on the command prompt you can write the echo and $, then it will show the process ID of current cell, and parent process ID you can write command this echo and on again this PPID, that is parent process ID. So it will show the parent process ID and process ID of the current cell, okay, in which you are working. So these topics we have discussed today. So processes, types of processes, Linux processes, daemon, process states, creation of process in Linux, and init processes. So these are some reference books that you can refer. One is Linux administration, second one is this Red Hat system administration for server administration, and Linux in a nutshell, and this one is reference for the practical exposure. If you want to contact information, then you can mail me this on my mail ID sudeep.yadav@galgotiasuniversity.edu.in. This. Thank you so much.